So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 17 Pro Max 4 months later. Is it worth it? Was it worth it? Let's talk about it now that the hype has died down. I've had the phone since the very first day. I gotta tell you one thing right off the bat though. The Cosmic Orange was the correct color choice, I believe, because it still does look kind of fresh all these months later. And that's mostly just because no other phones really look like this phone, and that's what really keeps it looking fresh. So great move by Apple to give you a phone that really stands out this year. I really want to see this trend continue on the future iPhones that do make their way onto the market. I'd like to see them bring more color options, and I do think they're probably going to continue this. We already seeing rumors of different colors for the 18 series way down the line later this year. Now, first thing I'm going to talk about is, was it worth it in the price though? Like, was the price worth it now that the hype has died down? And I got to say, I don't think it's worth it if you have a 16 Pro Max or even a 15 Pro Max. If you're coming from one of the phones before that, or you traded those in and you got so much off that the phone was not really a huge hit to the budget, I do think that it's then worth it. But for somebody coming to the iPhone for the first time, they want the highest end. It can also be worth it for them. And professionals, they are actually going to take advantage of the pro cameras, or creators, such as myself or anybody who runs a business where they're going to use the phone to write it off against the business, or use it as a tool to help you create whatever. You get the point. Then it's going to really be worth it for you. Also, for people who just need a really long battery life, this could be also worth it for you. There's a lot of people that it would fit, but the truth of the matter is that it's a splurge. This phone, let's just get it straight, it's a splurge. There's a lot of phones on the market that can do pretty much most of what this can do a lot cheaper. So it is worth it for those people, those specific people I was talking about. But I think for the average person, it's only worth it if you can get a discount on it. Like, you can trade in an older phone, discount it substantially. You can go ahead and get this on a discount, maybe with a carrier or something of that sort. Because let's be real, this is not groundbreaking foldable. This phone is still a slab smartphone. It's pretty standard iPhone, just with a fresh paint job on it. So let's just put it that way. It really greatly depends on your budget and the features you use. Now, the next one is the build. So we have the aluminum shell on here, which has improved thermals. Let's just get that out the way. It's definitely improved thermals. But I will say that I dropped it only one time and I got some nasty dents on the corner of this phone. Haven't dropped it since, but I've been protecting it and watching it a little bit closer ever since I did that. The aluminum's soft. Let's just be real. The aluminum on here is just soft. It doesn't have that same sturdy titanium feel as the previous 16 Pro Max, which I'm going to bring in here for a second to showcase that. So this frame that wrapped around my 16 Pro Max, not only in the hand feels colder, a little bit just more sturdy to the touch, the phone was just more durable on this metal. So this not only looks more premium to me, but also felt more sturdy. So build wise, not my favorite iPhone that I have ever seen. And 4 months later, I continuously think about this, and just to watch myself not to drop it, because I know that soft aluminum is going to take some nasty denting if I have a case off this and I take a nice fall. I'm not saying it's not durable, like it won't last. Of course this phone will last. I mean, Apple's not going to put out some junk, but at the same time, it's just not as sturdy as the titanium frame that came before. What is nice though is that the outer shell right here outside of this area is all aluminum. So less glass to shatter, but still you can shatter something down here. Them cameras can also crack if you hit it hard enough or on the wrong angle. At the end of the day, not my favorite build they've ever done, but the design. I also don't love the design personally. The island up here, the two-tone, it's pretty decent. Like, it looks different. I like that it's different. I've talked about this before. I like that it's different, but it hasn't grown on me to feel like, because here's why. When I compare the phones, I still pick up the 16 Pro Max, and my brain is telling me that it just feels better to hold. It almost tells me, should I just go back to that phone because I like the way it feels more, the way it looks more. The only reason I don't is because I know in technology, you are going to be using inferior tech if you're on a previous phone. Now, it's not that much inferior, but there are some things on here that have benefited me over 16 Pro Max. We'll talk about what they are later. But design-wise, it just simply wasn't worth it. I also don't like this up on the top. I've talked about it before. It just doesn't look very nice. And I wish that wasn't there, honestly. But for sure, there's just some areas of this phone that, they look decent, but like I do like the two-tone, but it just doesn't look like a groundbreaking change that I want to see a premium. Like I felt like the Air caught my eye a little bit more. Let me know your thoughts on design. This is really some people are gonna love it, some people are not gonna love it. Design here that they went with on the 17 Pro series. I do like the silver though. The silver one looks good as well. Let's go ahead and talk about the next thing. And if it was worth it, and it was a display. Now, coming from a 16 Pro Max though, this display actually still has an upgrade. It's brighter and it has better anti-reflections. The deal is that it's still ProMotion. It still has the same resolution as many years. So if you have anything dating all the way back to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, you kind of are getting essentially the same exact display experience. So for that reason, it's not a worthy upgrade for everyone, but 4 months later, it has been worth it for outdoor brightness and good anti-reflections. They also do have that PWM mode within the accessibilities. If you haven't seen my videos before, we have talked about it. Go into accessibilities, go to display and text size, and you'll see the display pulse smoothing there for PWM. So a little bit more comfortable on the eye as well. But this phone actually hasn't increased in size over the previous 16 Pro Max. It does have dynamic island and super thin bezels around the edge. So it's still a very, very premium looking display. And I've been really enjoying it for content and stuff of that sort. So I do recommend it if you want the best media display experience on an iPhone. This is definitely going to give you that. So I think you'll really, really enjoy consuming articles, watching videos. You know the drill on a smartphone. You're going to really like this one. But it's not like other phones aren't good at this. But this one is really, really playing it really at the top of the market in the display area. So I definitely really like it. And it's actually a newer panel than some of the panels you find on some competing Samsung phones. It's kind of weird that they make some of their more modern panels for iPhones than they do for some of their Samsung Galaxy devices. So I definitely like the panel on this iPhone right here. Now, software, after 4 months, the software to me definitely has not been worth it. I'm not going to say go upgrade for the software. Yes, these were the phones that originally launched with iOS 26 and liquid glass, but it's been several updates to get it pretty stable. Now, recently, it's been pretty stable with 26.2.1, and animations actually are pretty decent now. They're a little bit slower sometimes than other phones, and the phone does launch apps snappier than before. But it's the stability that I'm having a little bit of issue with. Sometimes apps freeze. It's not all the time, but they do tend to glitch out sometimes. I get a couple of weird things that happen with the animations, and some stuff sometimes just looks laggy. I don't know what it is. They need to work on stability with the software. This year, it just didn't feel smoother than 18 on the 16 Pro. Last year. So it got faster with a few things. They made it look a little more polished with liquid glass. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. But at the end of the day, I think the next version, I really want to see them work on stability and smoothness to bring back that Apple like nobody's competing on type feel. They used to have that. And right now, there's phones out there that are doing it better than Apple when it comes to the speed and stability. So it's no longer like they're just beating on everybody in the competition, but I think they can get back there if they refocus the efforts in that area. Now, the performance to me, is it worth it 4 months later? The answer is no. This is worth it for a long time. You're investing in the future here, mostly right here, 12 gigs of RAM. You're giving yourself headroom. The A19 Pro, 4.26 gigahertz, but previous iPhones, once again, to bring up the 16 Pro series of last year, these phones were never slow. Heck, the 15 Pros weren't slow. Heck, the 14 Pros weren't slow. And people tell me all the time, they still got those phones and they're performing fine. Their battery's getting a bit low, but they're doing fine and they'll get by. So this is definitely not worth it to me just for the performance. One area that is worth it, if you're a heavy user Believe this, the thermals are 100% worth it. I continuously am impressed with the fact that I can go about my day. I never think about any heat with this phone. Like, it never gets warm. It's so amazing that you can use this thing like a boss all day, heavy, heavy computing on this phone, whatever you're doing, and you never feel heat. That shows me the efficiency is the real deal on this phone. So while I don't think the real world daily performance is worth it in any way, shape, and form, previous phones were already fast. You do benefit from long term if you plan to keep it 5 years with a 12 gigs of RAM and thermals. So if thermals matter to you and RAM matters to you, you multitask a lot. I mean, you can't really split screen, but you can hop between a lot of apps and you can get on with your day to day. This gives you a lot of long term use with those two things, thermals and RAM. So it's worth it there, but not just for sheer daily use performance. Cameras, though, are 100% worth it. These are the best iPhone cameras ever. It's one of the reasons why I still really like using this phone. You can go 8 times zoom, up to 40x. And on the front, we've talked about it multiple times before, but that center stage camera has been a real game changer for iPhone 17 series. The real thing, though, is the consistency. The video quality is so smooth day to day. That camera on the front is really good. You can do log video. The zooming is strong, and just overall, you can just count on it. This is old trusty right here in the smartphone game, and having that extra zoom just extends Apple's lead at being one of the more reliable camera picks in the game. So I definitely say most people are going to be very, very happy with their daily use of the iPhone 17 Pro Max with camera, especially for just video and selfies and your daily photos. They're just all so consistent on all cameras, including the triple 48 megapixel, which puts all the lenses at the same megapixel. So they're basically like you're getting the same photo no matter what lens you're on. Ultra wide, standard, zooming in. As you zoom in further in the 40 times range, though, you can get a little bit of noise. I mean, those aren't that's not optical 40x, so you can get a little bit of noise, but generally cameras 100% have been worth it. Now, the battery life for me on the iPhone 17 Pro Max, using this phone 4 months, continues to impress. I feel like this has been like there's 2 phones in the iPhone's history that I had that when I experienced these daily usage, I was very impressed like this. One was the 11 Pro Max. Actually, we can go back further. The iPhone 8 Plus, back in the day, the iPhone 11 Pro Max did that for me again. The 13 Pro Max did it for me again. And now the 17 Pro Max is doing that for me again. What is that? Well, it's battery life that you never even have to look at. You literally could be unconscious throughout your day. I don't mean like not paying attention. I mean like you're like going about your day not thinking about your phone at all, and you could go ahead and not even look at it. As long as you charged it recently, it's not going to drain. The phone can be used all day long. It is phenomenal. And every time I'm charging it, I just feel like, well, I'm just topping it up just cause why not? Let's get a little more juice. But it's never like a battery anxiety or a need. That's how good the battery life is on here. It really does give you a lot of confidence that it's going to last, and it's been great. Now, 4 months later, the audio performance for the 17 Pro Max has also been something that's consistently impressed with its speakerphone clarity, with its high volumes, and its loudness. It sounds really good with music, but where it outshines some older iPhones is when you crank it all the way up, it stays clear through the mids and the lows and the highs, like all ranges. So I really like using this as just a phone to prop up, listen to some music on. If you do connect to Bluetooth, of course, latest phones, those are going to be the fastest ever as well. But really good for speakerphone calls and audio performance. That's been a breeze for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. What's also been a breeze is phone call quality. I actually haven't had any drop calls in this iPhone. That's been pretty good. Reception strength has been great, even in areas where you would typically have hard to reach spots. They do have better radios in here. But still, Samsung gives me a little bit more in those type of areas and a little bit faster 5G. But overall, this has been really, really good, actually. So I definitely can recommend it in this department. Wi-Fi connectivity, Bluetooth, That stuff has all been good as well. So if you are looking for a phone that has good connectivity ratings and stuff like that, this is going to be really good. I want to wrap it up here on the iPhone 17 Pro Max after using this device for an extended period of time. And here's what I got to say. I find this phone continues to provide me on a daily strong battery life. It continues to stay in my pocket, and when I'm using it heavy, even I don't care how I'm using it, I can count on its battery. It's been great. The daily consistency of the camera, using camera control, is nice on here as well. You kind of get used to that muscle memory. Your brain just remembers to click that, and then you just kind of use it as a camera button. Bright display. Where it lets me down a bit is in the weight. It definitely is a little bit heavy. You can feel this thickness, the heaviness of this phone. It feels solid. But if you like a lightweight phone, the air blows this thing out of the water. Let's just be real if you like lightweight. But that's the only area really that is blowing this phone out of the water. iOS stability could be better, and the build materials could also be better. The screen is actually pretty good on scratch resistance. The phone itself, a little bit slippery as well. Could slip out of the hand pretty easily if you're not using a case due to that soft aluminum. So for me, this phone I think has more pros to it than cons. So it is worth it, but it is one of those iPhones I would recommend you rock a case with this phone for sure. But at this point, you have about 7 months or so to the next iPhone. If your iPhone is running well, unless you're getting a substantial discount or something, it's probably not worth getting because they're going to have probably more innovative iPhones later this year. But if you're ready for an iPhone now, you're going to trade in one, get one cheaper, get this cheaper. I think it's worth it for specific people. But that's my 4 months later. If you found the video helpful, entertaining, informing, do me a favor, click that like button for me. Share your experience if you have a 17 Pro Max and your favorite color down below. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.